Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, Hannah's Habits. I am Hannah. On this channel you will find anatomy videos for Pilates students, you'll find Pilates classes, different types of wellness talks, meditations and a little bit of cat content as well. Welcome to today's video. It's the anatomy of breathing specifically for Pilates students. So let's get started. So breathing is essentially about volume and pressure. So if we think about our diaphragm and our rib cage, when we breathe in, that rib cage gets bigger. When we breathe out, it gets smaller. So during inspiration or inhalation, the volume increases and the pressure decreases, so there's more space inside that rib cage. During expiration or exhalation, the volume decreases, so we can see our rib cage drawing together, but the pressure increases. When referring to the rib cage, in your Pilates manuals, in the anatomy for Pilates manuals you may have in your course, you'll see it being referred to as the thoracic cage or possibly the thoracic cavity. The thoracic area of the body determined by the area of your thoracic spine, the T-spine. So the thoracic cage is just another wording used for the rib cage being in that area where your thoracic spine is. We're calling it a cavity, but really it's like a suction chamber. There's no space. Our rib cage is covered by pleura. Then there's a little bit of fluid, and then outside that is another layer of pleural lining, or these pleural cells that are lining your rib cage. Your ribs are able to expand and contract because of the elasticity of your muscles. We're filling it with gas, we're doing this gas exchange, we're decreasing the volume by letting the gas out, but it's an oxygen carbon dioxide exchange happening all the time. What are the muscles involved in breathing? We have our diaphragm, the anatomical barrier between your thoracic cavity and your abdominal cavity. Your diaphragm is attached to your ribs, your sternum and your lumbar spine. The diaphragm from underneath looks like the top of a tent. When we inhale, instead of it looking like the roof of a tent, that concave shape, it flattens, so it would look like a flat roof above you instead. So here we think about our intercostal muscles. The external intercostal muscles lift the rib cage up and out, increasing the volume. And if you were to look up, that roof of the tent is flat. And when we exhale, those muscles have to relax. So the diaphragm and our intercostal muscles are involved in breathing. We also have accessory muscles of breathing. If we take a gentle breath in, it's more subtle, the muscle work throughout the body and the muscle fibers that we recruit. If we take a bigger breath in, more muscles get involved. And if we take a really large breath in, you're running up a hill or you're doing some breath work, loads of muscles can get involved. You'll be more aware of this if ever you've had a really bad cold or a cough while you've had, for example, a sore back or an adductor strain or some groin pain, and you cough or you sneeze and you can feel it way down the body. So we can really feel how all of the muscles work in chains together. But our main accessory muscles of breathing are your sternocleidomastoid, also referred to as your SCM with its attachments in your sternum, the cleido referring to your collarbones, the mastoid process being part of the temporal bone in your skull, in your face. These muscles will shorten with your inhalation to increase the volume of your thoracic cage. Your scalenes are also going to help out. Here's your scalenes. So the scalenes attached to your cervical spine or your C-spine and your top two ribs are going to help to lift the top two ribs to accommodate the apex of your lungs, because the lungs go all the way up, creating space for the alveoli to fill, the elastic alveoli at the end of those bronchial branches. The alveoli have more space to fill when the ribs get out of the way. So the scalenes are going to assist in lifting the top two ribs, creating a bigger volume in your thoracic cage. These muscles, your scalenes, your SCM, are pulling up while the diaphragm flattens, creating so much space inside the area where your lungs are. So other muscles, other accessory muscles of breathing are your pectoralis muscles. Pec minor has an origin in your rib cage and it inserts into the coracoid process of your scapula, also known as your shoulder blade. Your pec major muscle is also involved. Your serratus anterior which as you can see attaches to the top 8 ribs. Your erector spinae muscles, which run all along your spine, are also accessory muscles of breathing. All of these muscles are going to assist in opening the ribcage out and relaxing to allow it to contract again. In Pilates, we want to know the muscles that are involved in breathing because they're going to help us with the principles of breathing in Pilates. When you're new to Pilates, we focus on our exhale happening at the part of each exercise that requires the most effort. So on an exhale, the ribs draw in and down, and it's like you're creating part of a corset that's going to support your spine. So when you're newer to Pilates, the part of each exercise that requires the most effort will occur on your exhale. With the inhale, we want to keep our neck muscles relaxed. So in Pilates, we set our bones, we set our breathing, we set our muscle work, and we bring it all together. But it's important to understand the muscle action and the accessory muscles of breathing and their actions, because it will help us to realize the areas that we want to feel ease in and the areas that we want to feel contraction in or work in. And the core muscles will have to be a different anatomy video to this video, but it's hard to talk about anything to do with the body without bringing everything in, because everything affects everything else. But our principles of breathing in Pilates, when you're starting out, generally if you're in extension in your spine with the ribs opening out to the side and creating space, we inhale. If we're stabilizing the spine and adding the weight of our appendages, our limbs, our arms and our legs on, we're going to exhale to stabilize, and we're going to exhale every time we want to reinforce that stability. Because we realize the neck muscles are so involved in breathing, it's important to have our position first. It's important to keep the breath work nice and gentle so that it doesn't always force the shoulders up and down. We learn how to stabilize. The rest of your Pilates anatomy will help to inform this, and the anatomy of breathing will help to inform the rest of your Pilates. So as I've said already, when we talk about one thing, it leads you into all the other areas. There's a chain reaction from everything through your breathing, your muscle work, your setup. I hope this anatomy of breathing for Pilates students has been helpful to you. Best of luck if you've searched this video because you have an exam coming up. Let me know if there's other videos you'd like to see on anatomy for Pilates teachers. Make sure to like the video, comment if you have a request for a video or anything to say or a question to ask. I love seeing your comments. I always reply to them. And please subscribe to my channel if you would be so kind. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.